is it
Josh,
so many of these conversations are so surfacey and nobody goes as deep as we just went over a haircut, right?
yeah, well, we suck at it. We really
Right.
do. Look, and I'm going to include myself in this. I'm a coach and I've been asking questions for 20 something years of people. I have the ability to go deep with somebody, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not natural. So what I did is I wrote an app, and I wrote an app because what happened is I went to a games night and we sat down. It's called Authentic Relating Games Night. And they gave us a couple of questions to ask each other. And these questions were something like, they were deeper questions than we'd normally use in society, deeper questions than I would ever come up with. Questions like, what don't you want me to know about you?
Oh man,
Right?
it's a good
Now,
question.
I did not want to be there that night because I was very tired. I just wanted to get out of there. I was looking at my watch. Within 5 minutes of asking that question of this guy, I was in tears. I felt like this guy was my brother because he'd shared something that could have been me speaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was feeling love. I'm like, how did that happen in 5 minutes? And I realized I need a prompt like that if I'm going to go deeper with people. So I wrote this app. It's called Get Real. Anyone can download it at getreal.life. It's a free
Yeah.
download. And it comes up with questions that even I would not want to come up with. If I'm sitting with you, even let's say we're having a beer, it's just weird for me to just bust out with, Josh, what would you say to your younger self if you could travel back in time 20
Yeah.
years? It's just a
Yeah.
bit weird. But if I say, do you want to play a game? It's a simple connection game called Get Real. It's got some fun
Everybody wants to
questions.
play a game. Yeah.
Yeah. And we busted open. In fact, I'm going to open it up right now. And can I ask you a question, Josh?
Sure. Bombs
All
away.
right. Now, why this is great for listeners is because if you aren't naturally curious about someone and you don't naturally come up with deep questions, like me, then this app can do it for you. You can say to a prospect or a client, I found this really unusual game. It's got some pretty thought-provoking questions. Do you want to try it out? And then I'm opening up the game and I'm going to go to Just Met. So this is a little bit lighter. And the key is you scroll through until you find a question you actually want the answer to. Do
Okay.
not pick the first question. It sucks if you pick the first question. You've got to care about the answer. Otherwise, it's not curiosity. So, all right, I'm going to go with the first one I looked at because I like it. And this question is, Josh, what should the warning label on you say?
Oh, that's a great question.
Let's say you and I are possibly going to become friends.
Yeah.
What would a good warning label be? What would I need to know about you?
Yeah. That's great. The warning label on me would say that I definitely judge people pretty quickly, and I'm often very wrong. I often will get into a conversation. I feel like I've got a lot to say, and I'm always right, and I'm pretty educated, and I'm successful in business. And so I tend to not give people enough time to really learn the true person and who they are and what's important to them. And I make some snap judgments, and I know that is something I need to do a better job of.
All right. So I'm hearing you're quick to make judgments about people, and you may
Yeah.
be later proven wrong, but you're just very fast to make a decision about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually you know, it's usually an opinion that's not always great. Like I don't always be like snap judgment, like, oh, that guy is awesome. That girl's unbelievable. I tend to find the negative in people. And so I've had to recondition myself to think like, man, people are good people. And in general, everybody wants to just take care of themselves, take care of their families, be prosperous, be happy, be positive. And so even if I didn't find the good in them quickly, I need to give them more time, and I'm probably going to find a lot of good in them. But I make a lot of snap judgments for sure. For sure.
Right. Well, hearing that, I notice that I feel impressed by your self-awareness. A lot of people don't know that about themselves, and if they did know it, they wouldn't share it.
Yeah.
about people. So I feel impressed by your spiritual intelligence and has me like you more.
Yeah, that's great. So within the app, this GetReal.life app, and I'm on the webpage as I have it up on my computer here as we're recording the podcast. So there's a section for just met, flirting, friends, couples, kids, and team building. So great. So if you're not like a conversationalist, you're not sure like what to ask to go a little bit deeper. I love the idea that you've built in a bunch of these kind of thought-provoking questions to give people like a little bit of a nudge to help them.
Yes. So we can talk about some ways people can use it, and particularly on Zoom, you can use it with your clients. You can use it with different kinds of connections. But first, I want to unpack a little bit what we just did with the game, because what I did is the simple version of the game is you just ask a question. I ask you a question, you answer it. I say thank you. I pass the phone to you. You flick through and you find one, and it's great to see people's faces because they go, "Ooh."
Yeah. I don't know
Oh,
if I want
that's
to
a
ask
good
that.
one. And then they ask it. So I did that, but then I also did. I'm wondering if listeners caught it. I did the next two steps that I suggested, which are reflection and then impact.
Impact.
I said, so you make snap judgments on people, and you might be proven wrong. I reflected it back to kind of check I got it right, and so I'm listening. And then I shared impact, and a great couple of words to segue into impact is hearing that. Those are magic words. They're relational connecting words. Hearing that, I find, and then I say whatever comes. And, sometimes there's no impact and you got nothing. But I found that I was, like, if I checked in, I was like, oh, that guy knows himself and he's willing to tell me. I feel closer to him and I trust you more. So it's just such a wonderful thing because people want to impact the world and they want to know, generally, particularly if it's positive, they want to know how they've impacted you. If you tell me something and I don't tell you how I'm impacted, and then I say some stuff and you don't tell me how you're impacted, we're just skipping being relational. That's all.
Yeah.
We're
It's
just
a
two billiard
conversation.
balls, 2 billiard balls bouncing off each other. That's the normal human experience. This is a powerful way that we can change that.